Okay, so yes, so you have the center. Make sure you graph it, and if you know the center, that will be very useful for the equation writing. So that's a center, and you also know the vertex. The vertex is right here. That's a 5. Now, if you know these 2 points, you can at the very least, obtain 2 useful information already. What 2 pieces of information can you obtain right here? Huh? You can find out the outer vertex because you know what? You know the what? Yeah, so that means you know the distance right here, which is called? What's the distance between the center and the vertex? What do we label it? What letter? That's your A. Okay, so you know the A value already. So A is equal to 3. Okay, so you could find out the vertex of the other side, but that's not the main point. Okay, like can we draw a complete graph? Sure. Is it necessary? No. What do we want? We want an equation. Now, so you know that the A value is 3. What else do you know based on these 2 points? Whether it's vertical or horizontal. In this case, it is. It is vertical. Okay. So so the other part would be something like this. Don't really care, but we know that it's vertical. And because we know it's vertical, well, we can start writing our equation. So we have 2 fractions. They're subtracting. And it's equal to 1. And because it's vertical, who gets to be the first one? Is it X or is it Y? Say that if it's vertical, then Y becomes the first term, the positive term. And then Y minus, now I made a mistake this morning. I want to make clear that you don't make the mistake. Now, as I said, this topic, all the circle, ellipses, hyperbolas, and on Friday we'll talk about parabolas. It's very easy to make mistakes if you got distracted. And this morning, what I did when I was writing the equation, because I see coordinates, I somehow put the coordinates of the vertex into the equation. Somehow. So make sure that you are using your center's value. So it's Y minus 2 and then X minus 4. Okay. And since you know your A is 3, that means your A squared is 9. So you got the first fraction, and we are left with the second fraction, the second denominator. We don't know the second denominator. We don't know the B squared yet. And we need to find out what B squared is. Well, we don't have anything directly related to B. And all we are left with is the asymptote equation. And that is not even in the slope-intercept form. Okay, so that's not really helpful, like if you look at it. But if you think about this equation is the asymptote right now. So what we should do is do something hypothetical. So let's just say you know your B value and you draw your box. Okay, let's just say you draw your box. And because you draw a box, that means you can draw your asymptotes. Okay. And because you draw your asymptotes, you can tell the slope of these 2 asymptotes. Now, I'm not saying the actual value, but I'm saying that, well, at least can you tell, is it A over B or B over A? When you look at the rise over run of the asymptotes, is it A over B or B over A? Rise over run. Rise over run. Is it A over B or B over A? It is going to be A over B, because you can see clearly the rise is your A. So A over B. I want to make sure that everyone can see how it is A over B. And I said that very explicitly, that you shall not memorize the slope. You do not. Anyone who memorizes the slope, it's a very stupid move because you can get it from a diagram. If you memorize it, that means you don't care where it came from, and that's dangerous. So you know the slope is plus or minus A over B, okay, for the two slopes of the asymptotes. Well, what about this equation here? Yeah, can you tell the slope based on this equation? What's the slope of this linear line? It's 3 over 4. Can you see how it's 3 over 4? Now, I expect this to be a very essential skill, and since you are taking SAT or you took SAT, you should know this. The SAT likes to give you the standard form, and you have to process it so that you get the slope intercept form. So you need to know that, oh, I'm going to move the 3x to the other side. And you do this mentally. And then you're going to divide by 4 on both sides. So you get 3 over 4x minus 1. So the slope is 3 over 4 for the asymptote. And what do we say about the slope? It's A over B. Well, A over B is 3 over 4. And we knew that A is 3. Well, in that case, B must be 4. Again, we're saying B is equal to 4, not because of this fraction only. We have this fraction, but we cannot tell A and B explicitly until we know one of these two values. And we knew that A is equal to 3. Therefore, we can tell B is 4, and the second denominator is 16. Okay? So I want you to know that the asymptote may not be an equation that you like to see. The information may not be explicit. But it's okay. You can still tell the critical values, the important values very easily. Just make sure that you care about the slope of the asymptote. You care about the slope of the asymptote. You care about the slope of the asymptote. So now go ahead, try number 5.